All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all glory, and all honors unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. It's the priest Zion from GMS Atlanta with another edition of GMS News and Prophecy. And I'm going to start off with the scripture in particular here in the book of Luke. This is Luke 12:49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? These words are in the red, which are the words of Yahweh Shai himself, which he says that he's come to send fire on the earth. Yahweh Shai is coming to bring destruction. Pursuant to Isaiah, the 66th chapter, in verse 15, it says that for the Lord will come with fire and his chariots like a whirlwind. Okay, so the Lord's going to come with fire himself to destroy and zap people with the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of Israel, the chariots of the Most High, the holy angels. But he says, and what will I if it be already kindled? The earth is literally on fire, but it's also on fire based upon the destruction of the society. And that's what the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is coming back to do. He's coming back to, of course, save his people, but he's also coming back with fire. But the fire in the earth right now is already kindled. This society is already destroying itself. All right? And I have an article that shows this exact point, okay? That makes this exact point. So now let me go to it. And this is from the SiouxCityJournal.com. All right. Dated November 23rd, 2019. And it says, this is the words, I guess, of Patrick Buchanan. It says, what's behind our world on fire? Okay, the world is on fire. All right. Now it says, when the wildfires of California broke out across the Golden State, many were the causes given. Negligence by campers, falling power lines, arson, a dried out land, climate change, failure to manage forests, prune trees and clear debris, leaving fuel for blazes ignited, abnormally high winds spreading the flames, too many fires for first responders to handle. So, too, there appears to be a multiplicity of causes igniting and fueling the protests and riots sweeping capital cities across our world. And that's what's going on. Okay? This world is collapsing. The world of Esau is ending. Okay? So let me make that point. All right, let me read that. Let's go to... I'm in the Apocrypha. Let me go back. Let's go to, let's see. I read it from now. Let's go to Second Edges. Should be queued up here. Yep. This is Second Edges 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Who is Esau? Esau is the so-called white man. All right, so-called white race. That's Esau, a.k.a. the Edomites. All right. That includes the so-called Jewish people as well. They're not Jewish, all right? They're not the Jews. They're Esau. Okay? And they'll tell you that themselves, that they converted to Judaism, but their true nationality are of the children of Esau. And they're the ones that are ruling the earth right now. So now it says, for Esau is the end of the world. This is Bible prophecy. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And Jacob are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Not just all blacks or Negroes, but the Hispanics and Native Americans as well. They make up the different Northern Kingdom tribes. And we are going to rule in the earth following the end of this world. Okay? So this is what's going on. We're seeing the riots, the protests. This is the end of the world of Esau. Okay? And this fire that's being kindled, pursuant to Luke 12 and 49, that's what Yahushua was talking about. Okay? This society is collapsing. All right? Now, I'm going to read this next scripture. Luke. Let me see here. I can view it in the chapter. I want to read 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and 23. It says, "And the trumpet shall give a sound." The trumpet is was getting ready. What really was happening now. Okay. We're within the sixth. We're right after the sixth trumpet. Matter of fact, let me go back. Salakia, let me get the point for the trumpet. Okay. Let me go to 2nd of the 6 and 9. All right, view the chapter. Revelation, 2nd of the 6 and 9. "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question answers as thou not." This goes into the trumpets. You have 7 trumpets when you read Revelation throughout the Bible that are going to sound. We're at the time of the 6th trumpet, and the 7th trumpet is going to blow soon. And the 7th trumpet is going to herald the end of this world totally, the destruction of this society, and the salvation of the nation of Israel. So that's where we're at. We're at the time of this trumpet getting ready to be blown. Okay? So matter of fact, I'm in the same chapter. So let me jump down to verse 23. All right, so this is verse 23. "And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid." Because that trumpet spells the time of the end. It says, "At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall not stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." And that's what's going on. Friends are now fighting one against another like enemies, man. All right? I'm going to go back to this article. Okay? What's behind our world on fire? Okay? So let's see what, how people are fighting one against another. Let's see, the things, that's happening. So it says the year-long yellow vest protests in Paris, set off by fuel price hikes that were swiftly rescinded, seemed to grind down last weekend to 7,000 anarchic and violent diehards. So you got the riots in Paris. It says the riots in Chile, which started to oppose a small hike in train and subway fares in a country with the highest per capita income and least inequality in all of Latin America. Yet the protesters have succeeded in forcing the elected government to capitulate and write a new constitution. Bolivia's uprising was over an election stolen by longtime President Evo Morales, who fled to Mexico to be welcomed by the foreign minister. Among the issues dividing Bolivians are economic inequality and tribalism, indigenous peoples living alongside a European descended elite. And these are, in South America, your real rulers are really these Edomite mixed in amongst, for the most part, mixed in amongst the different tribes down there, and they understand that. And then the rest of the Israelites that are in power down there, they're puppets. But now they're coming against the government. That's prophecy as well. It says in Hong Kong, where protesters appear to be making a last stand in the city's universities, the cause that first united them was a proposal to allow the city's citizens to be extradited to China for trial. So I mean, it's it's protests all over the world. Okay. Another scripture that comes to mind now, all right, is in the Apocrypha. But let's go to Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. Okay. So let's go to Second Esdras chapter 15 and 15. It says, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand and fight against another, and swords in their hands." That's these riots and protests, these smoke grenades and these Molotov cocktails being thrown, people killing one another, right? These Molotov cocktails being thrown, excuse me. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men." Sedition is an uprising to come against the government, and invading one another. "They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." That's what we're seeing. "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Okay, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." And that's what's going on in South America right now. You're seeing the rise of Jacob's trouble, pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7. Okay, these things are happening, man, and it's all over the world. Okay, I'm gonna read some of this back in the article. It says, in Baghdad, in Baghdad, the protests went violent early, and hundreds are now dead. Okay, neighbors are coming against one another. People fighting once against another in their own country. It says, a primary cause of the rioters' rage, Iranian influence in Iraqi politics that arose among the Shiite majority after George W. Bush overthrew the Sunni regime of Saddam Hussein. The Iranian-backed Shiite militia who helped stop the Islamic State group's drive to Baghdad in the days of the Caliphate are now less welcome. Iranians go home is a popular demand. The recent violent protests inside Iran are rooted in both politics and economics. U.S. sanctions keep millions of barrels of Iran's oil off world markets every day, causing surging deficits, exacerbating the plunging value of Iran's currency and contributing to rising inflation, which is also going to lead to part of the global economic collapse that's to come, right? I mean, things are happening all over, okay? It says, consider the economic issues propelling workers into the streets to protest inequalities of wealth and income are occurring at a time when our world has never been more prosperous, which is at its peak to now. This economic system that Esau set up through fraud, basically through the credit banking system, fractional reserve banking through Esau and the Federal Reserve and the IMF is now crumbling. It says the ethnic and racial clashes within and between nations seems increasingly beyond the capacity of democratic regimes to resolve peacefully. And what the scripture says in Isaiah 57:21, there is no peace to the wicked, and the wicked is in power. Okay? As for matters of fundamental belief, political, ideological, religious, the divides here too seem to be deepening and widening. I'll just read this about India. India's Hindu majority of 1 billion seeks suppression of its Muslim minority. Secular Chinese put Muslim Uyghurs and Kazakhs in concentration camps by the thousands to root out their birth loyalties and convert them into Marxist nationalists. Han Chinese are moved into Tibet and Xinjiang to swamp indigenous populations. You know, these things are here. It says President Trump's America wants to secure the southern border against an ongoing invasion of Latin American and third world people who could soon create here a new majority that votes reliably reliably democratic. There's places everywhere, man. Europe, okay. Europe resists with growing alarm a decades-long invasion of the old continent by desperate people fleeing the failed states of Africa and the Mideast. Because you got civil wars down there in Africa that's going on. All these, all right, all these things aren't in the mainstream news media, but they're going on. Okay. It says in Spain, a nationalist party vaults to third place to resist a leftist regime in Madrid that is seen as too accommodating to Catalan secessionists and refugees from across the Mediterranean. It says Americans are not in actual war with one another, that's brewing because Babylon the Great, which is America, is building up to that point, man. It says Americans are not at actual war with one another, but our divisions are as wide and deep as they have been since the 1960s, if not since the Civil War. And that's prophecy as well. I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm pretty much at the last end. But let me get this. I want to show these things here, right? Because this is an article too as well, because it mentioned about South America. Now this is from Vice. All right. So now this article is from Vice.com. It says Colombians have watched their neighbors rise up. Now they're taken to the streets. Down with the government of Ivan Duque, chanting a group of retirees as they march in a river of people that flowed all day through central Bogota. Down, down, down. All right. So this is in Colombia, okay? All right. Amongst the tribes down there, see like the scripture I read, these cities are troubled, man. Okay. It says the sprawling city of Bogota rattled with the racket of people begging pots and pans from the windows while police grenades boomed in the distance and tear gas wafted through the city center. Hundreds of thousands of Colombians flooded the streets Thursday in massive anti-government protests throughout the country, following the mold of recent uprisings in Ecuador, Chile, and Bolivia. As protests dragged into the night, violent clashes broke out with police in the capital city and elsewhere, with reports of 3 deaths in the city of Cali. So this is what's going on in Colombia now. All right. I got another one. Right. This is from the New York Times because it spoke about America. Right. It says our nation is being torn apart. Truth is questioned. Okay. It says Fiona Hill's warnings challenge Trump to keep America safe from Moscow's efforts to destabilize democracy and snare influence around the globe. And America's divided, man. America is whether it's the political world, whether it's the citizens, whether it's the racial tension with the cop shootings and things like that. This society is on fire. All right. And that's why I read that in Luke 12:49 first, because in the time of the return of Yahweh Shai, this world is already going to be, torn apart. World War III is going to be in full swing by that time. And that's pursuant to 2 Ezra 6 and 9, where it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that's the point of us even teaching this thing, this truth. All right? As Hebrew Israelites, us prophesying, starting with Great Millstone, because the end of this world is here. All right? The Israelites are going to rule the next, man, because this, the signs, as the scripture says in the book of Daniel, the writing is on the wall now. Okay? The writing is on the wall for this world. And the last ditch effort for Esau to control this earth, this world, is going to be his RFID infrastructure and the RFID implant or the Neuralink implant in your brain. One in the hand, one in the brain. Okay? But that's going to be when the nuclear destruction takes place on America and in different countries around the world. You know? So yeah, man, this world is on fire right now. And we're getting closer and closer. We're a little over a month and maybe 5 days, 5 or 6 days, less than a week until 2020. Okay, so these scriptures and these prophecies are coming to life, man. All right. The word of the Lord does not go out void. Matter of fact, I'm going to end out on that scripture. All right, let's go to Isaiah, the 55th chapter. Okay, this is Isaiah 55 and verse 11. It says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." And that's what's prospering right now. Okay? The word of the Lord is prospering. The prophecies are coming to pass. All right? And people see it. Okay? People are talking about it in the news. We're talking about it on the street corners. We are at the end of this world. But there's a new world that's going to begin to follow, and that's going to be the world of the Israelites. So with that, I hope this was an edifying lesson. All praises, glory, and honors go into Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shout out one to the whole for the elect. To the next one.